Hi friends, and welcome back to Nourish with Regina, where we talk about transforming your plate and transforming your life. If you are new here, I'm Regina, certified nutrition coach, wife, mom of 4 adult children, and someone who truly believes that healing doesn't start with restriction or punishment. It starts with understanding. So on today's episode, this is a really important one. It's a cornerstone episode. Gut Health 101. While healing your gut is the foundation of all health. So grab your coffee, settle in for a great discussion about your gut. If you ever felt like your weight loss won't budge, your energy is constantly low, your joints ache and are inflamed, or you're doing all the right things and not seeing any results, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about what the gut microbiome is, why it impacts nearly every single system in our bodies, how the standard American diet damages or has damaged our gut health, what leaky gut really means, and why healing your gut often improves multiple symptoms all at once. Take a breath, settle in. This is a gentle, informative, and hopeful episode. There was a season in my life where my weight would not budge no matter what I did. I was working out consistently. I even joined a gym and had a trainer. I was eating healthy, better than I used to. I was doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do, riding my bicycle multiple miles a day on top of the strength training, and nothing was changing. And honestly, it was emotionally exhausting. My confidence took a hit. I felt like I was the reason it wasn't working. I was doing something wrong. I felt frustrated with my body. I started questioning myself. Why isn't it working? What's wrong with me? Why doesn't anything work? What made it even harder is that it wasn't just about my weight. I was tired all the time. My joints felt inflamed and achy. My energy was low. I felt tired from the time I got up till the time I went to bed. When I finally learned about gut health and later received a diagnosis of leaky gut, it was like a light bulb went off. Nothing was wrong with my effort. My body wasn't broken. My gut was inflamed and dysfunctional, and it was affecting everything else. And once I began healing my gut, things started to shift. Not overnight, but consistently and meaningfully. That's why this episode matters so much to me, because so many people blame themselves for symptoms that are actually rooted in gut dysfunction. So we're going to talk about what the gut microbiome is and why it's so important that we get that back on a healthy track. The gut microbiome is incredible. Your gut is home to over 100 trillion microorganisms. That's a number that's unfathomable, but it's bacteria, fungi, and microbes that help regulate digestion, immunity, hormones, and metabolism. In fact, about 70 to 80% of your immune system lives in your gut. And roughly 95% of serotonin, which is your feel-good neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut. The gut helps regulate blood sugar, inflammation, and fat storage. Research published in the Nature and Cell shows that people with greater microbial diversity tend to have better metabolic health, lower inflammation, more stable weight, and improved insulin sensitivity. When your microbiome is balanced, your body functions more efficiently. When it's damaged, symptoms show up everywhere. So, what we eat affects our gut health. The standard American diet actually damages our gut. And this is where many of us get stuck without even realizing it. The standard American diet is high in sugar, high in refined carbohydrates, high in inflammatory seed oils, low in fiber, low in fermented foods, low in micronutrients. Studies show the average American eats less than 15 grams of fiber per day, while optimal gut health requires closer to 25 to 35 grams of fiber. And fiber feeds that beneficial gut bacteria. Without it, good bacteria die off and harmful bacteria, yeast, and thrive. Research in the journal Gut shows that emulsifiers and food additives commonly found in processed foods can disrupt the gut lining, increasing intestinal permeability, also known as leaky gut. So even when calories aren't excessive, nutrient-poor inflammatory foods can still block healing. And this is why weight doesn't move. Energy stays low and inflammation lingers, even with exercise. Leaky gut, let's explain it in an easy to understand way. Your intestines are lined with a barrier that is designed to let nutrients through and keep toxins out, bacteria and undigested food out as well. So when that lining becomes damaged, it becomes more permeable, so things can pass back and forth through the lining. And that means that things that don't belong in the bloodstream slip out through that permeable lining, triggering an immune response and inflammation. So this leaky gut is linked to stubborn weight gain, joint and pain inflammation, fatigue, brain fog, hormone imbalance. So when I learned this, it finally made sense why I could work out endlessly and still feel swollen and inflamed and in pain. And that made me feel stuck. So my body wasn't resisting weight loss, it was protecting itself. Once I shifted focus from burning calories to healing my gut, everything began to change. So how does our gut health affect multiple systems all at once? This is the part that just blows people's minds. When the gut heals, we often see improvements in weight reduction, joint pain, energy levels, blood sugar balance, inflammation, hormone signaling. Why? Because our gut communicates with the immune system, the endocrine or hormone system, the nervous system, and the metabolic systems. A 2021 review in Frontiers in Immunology showed that reducing gut inflammation can lower systemic inflammation markers throughout the body. So if you lower the inflammation in your gut, it in turn has an effect on inflammation throughout the entire body as a whole. This is why healing the gut improves multiple systems all at once, not just digestion. And this is also why extreme dieting backfires. It stresses the gut even further. So how do we begin to heal our leaky gut? So we're going to talk about the food and then some supplements that are going to be really helpful in healing our gut. So before we close today, I want to spend a few minutes talking about something I know many of you are wondering. Okay, if gut health is the foundation, where do we actually start? And the good news is healing leaky gut doesn't require extremes. It's not about cutting off everything or taking out a loan to buy a cabinet full of supplements. It starts with creating an environment in the gut that allows healing to happen. So when we're healing the gut, we're focusing on foods that are anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense, easy to digest, and supportive of the gut lining. So these foods are so helpful in that healing, and we can just add them in slowly as we learn to heal our gut. So this often looks like protein at every meal. So make sure you're getting 20 to 30 grams of protein at every meal. Those of you that have a specific protein goal throughout the day, great. Just make sure you're you keep recalculating that with your body weight and your activity levels and things. Cooked vegetables instead of raw vegetables. Bone broth and soups, so good for your gut. Healthy fats like olive oil and avocados. And reducing your intake of ultra processed foods and excess sugar. I don't know if you've heard the little saying to shop just the outside edges of the grocery store, but stay away from all those middle aisles. That's where a lot of the processed food is. You want to do you know fruits and vegetables. You can do canned vegetables. Just make sure that the ingredient list has the vegetable and maybe one other thing like salt or something like that. I prefer to get the no salt ones, but there are some, or beans, that are just beans without a bunch of added ingredients to them. So we're going to start reading those labels, and I'm going to do a video on YouTube later about that. So follow me on my YouTube channel if you want some extras with the videos for that. But really just whole natural foods. Remember, we talked about eating foods in the closest way possible to how they grow, and that's going to be our healthiest option. So these foods help calm inflammation and give the gut the building blocks it needs to repair itself. So from there, supplements can be incredibly helpful, not as a replacement for food, but as support if you're really struggling or you feel you have a lot of gut issues. L-glutamine, this is an amino acid that serves as fuel for cell lining in your intestines. So research shows it can support the integrity of the gut lining and is often one of the first supplements used in leaky gut protocols. Again, that one is L-glutamine. Collagen or gelatin. I take collagen every day, put it in my morning coffee. So I just love collagen for so many reasons. But they provide amino acids like glycine and proline, which support gut lining repair. This can be taken as a powder or through bone broth. If you make your own bone broth, it is so high and great in collagen, and that's going to be a wonderful gut healing. I like to have it warm at night, and it just tastes so good. To me, it's like a hug. It's so comforting. But zinc, carnosine, is a form of zinc that's been shown to support the gut lining and help with intestinal permeability. Of course, digestive enzymes help break down food more efficiently, reducing stress on the gut while it's healing. Probiotics. We're going to use targeted, not random. Certain strains can help restore microbial balance, but this is very individualized. More is not always better. And then we have omega-3 fatty acids. These help lower inflammation and support overall gut and immune health. Fatty fish is great. Salmon, tuna. I try and get fish in twice a day, which sometimes is hard because my husband is not a big fan of fish. I love it. So a lot of times I'll do it for my lunches for the day. And it's just really good for that gut healing. Now, I've listed all of these. Don't take all of them. Maybe start with one and kind of transform your eating over a set amount of time and see how you're doing. I'll include the links in the show notes to the supplements I personally trust and use. Quality really matters here, and I want to make that easy for you. So now I do want to pause for a minute and say this clearly and responsibly. I am a certified nutrition coach. I am not a medical doctor. So the information shared here is for educational purposes only. And support. It's not medical diagnosis or treatment. If you have a medical condition or are already on medications or are making significant changes to your diet or supplement routine, it's always wise to talk with your healthcare provider before adding these supplements. So my role is to help you understand your body better and support it with nourishment, and to help you ask better questions, not replace medical care. And here's the most important part I want you to remember. Gut healing is not overnight, but it is possible. When you are consistent in supporting your gut with the right foods, gentle habits, and targeted supplementation, the body often responds beautifully. And many people are shocked to see improvements, not just in digestion, but remember, it affects everything else. So you're going to see improvements in energy, inflammation, weight regulation, and overall well-being. That's the power of healing from the root of the problem. And I just love that. It's so incredible. Our bodies are so amazing. So if this episode resonates and you are realizing your symptoms might be rooted in gut health, I would love to support you further. I'm currently enrolling for my New Year Nourished group coaching program, which begins January 12th. This is a supportive, science-based program focused on gut health, blood sugar balance, and sustainable nourishment, which you can sign up for that on my website, www.nourishwithregina.com. And next week, we will take this conversation one step further with anti-inflammatory eating, calming the body from the inside out. We'll talk about what inflammation in our bodies really is, how gut dysfunction drives it, and how food can calm and not inflame your body. If you take nothing else from today's episode, remember this: your body is not broken. Your symptoms are not failures. They are signals, and they deserve care, not punishment. Healing starts when we listen, nourish, and give our bodies what they truly, truly need. Thank you for being here, friends. Until next time, keep transforming your plate and you will transform your life. Bye.